Hey y'all, it is oh my god, it's 3:57 in the morning. I promised the viewer I would show how to make a really specific type of sound. Not necessarily the exact sound they were looking for, but just how to get these sort of like analog horror VHS types of growls. And I'm doing so using a combination of a few plugins plus just sampling audio. Um, yeah, so I mean, you can see Deli Llama there. He's going to be putting in a lot of work here. Plastic Funeral and Ambience are also great, but Witch Pig has this plugin called Black Mirror Reverb, which I think is really underrated and really under discussed. I'm gonna do a whole video about Witch Pig and their plugin suite one day, but for the time being, I just want to go over the idea of creating sounds like this. Just stuff like that. That wasn't quite the best example. Dalai Lama is really low in the mix too, but yeah, we'll get him a little turned up, right? Everyone should be familiar with Dalai Lama. It is one of the greatest plugins ever fucking created. It does absolutely unhinged things. It is basically just this. I don't know if it's quite a frequency modulating synth. I guess it is because you are modulating the frequencies, and that's kind of just the whole point. But sound engineer wise, something like a really light reverb, a really subtle but like washed out reverb is ambience, which is this sort of like super straightforward reverb. There's nothing super special about ambience other than it's like really good for making washed out sort of spaces. Let's get everything just default here. And then we have Plastic Funeral, which is just a distortion plugin. Also just really straightforward. Also free. All of these are free, by the way. I've never actually noticed this quality knob up here. I guess defaults it's on high, which is fine. And then what's last over here? Just a low pass. And we're gonna look at like actually modulating the sound um with a live track, with an armed track. Because now we're gonna go into the sample, which I have here. It's good old radio noise and FX. A super compressed version of it, as you can see. If you're not familiar with this sample, it's been used in a lot of horror movies, video games like Silent Hill, among other really interesting things. I like to slap it really low. kind of get like a little riser out of it. Something really melodic. There's just a low pass on here. And then as I mentioned, the Black Mirror reverb, which has I think 5 presets. Whoa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ow, rats. Some of these presets are insane. Dorian, I know Dorian is wild. It just kind of has that sort of freak show industry vibe. Obsidian's a cool one too. We're just gonna do Black Sunshine for this. It's just the most straightforward. It actually wouldn't really be that much to kind of just increase what's going on there on the tail end. So what do we do here? Well, we arm both tracks, right? We're gonna hit our record. It's gonna be kind of loud, chat. Kind of just get anything going there, right? Then what are we gonna do? Duplicate the heck out of this. And actually, before it's even worth duplicating, doing like a straight run through, where we're just gonna arm both of these again. We could do one at a time. And just overdubbing them in a way like this. So now we've got that going on, right? And then if we want to come over to here, we're basically just making automation, non-volume based automation. We can get to volume based automation later. That would just be like bringing in the specific volumes of everything. Again, this isn't what I think the average analog horror creator is going to be doing, but let's also bring up the same thing here. So for something like the actual sample, starting at like a really low speed is nice. I'm just gonna solo this so we can hear it a little better. Just something like that, and then let that repeat. Obviously, I would prefer to do like the entire, however long the duration of the sound is, and then kaboom. And in terms of actual like automation, you know, obviously just start low and get loud, right? That's how it works. I think 35 seconds is a long time to automate, but start low, get loud. That might even be like a little too quiet. We can actually even go into the master and like fuck around with codec. Yeah, there's tons of ways to do it. That's just how, if I were gonna make this, if I were gonna make a sound like that at 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, that's what I would do. Just really quick, delay llama, a really classic radio VHS magnetic feedback sample, a lot, a lot of automation, even like filter resonance stuff. Like you can kind of see it's like square wavy here, but that's actually good because it sort of like works as like its own little instrument, and it's nice. Stuff like, there's just so much to be done. It's all about automation from like a sound design point, but I think you get the idea. Just a quick little video a viewer had asked on Reddit, and then I think on the analog horror uh, soundscaping video. So to that viewer, thank you for the request. I'm always down to take requests on how to make certain sounds too, so don't be afraid to ask. Good night, everyone. I'm going back to sleep.